oh my honey, better hurry and let me and ain't you going to the leader man, ragged meter man, oh my honey, let me take you to Alexander's grandstand, the brass band, ain't you coming along, come on here.
Here we begin the evolution of Quintex. From the beginning, a century ago, Alex Quinton, who had emigrated from England, began a company and called it Quinton Dye Works. In the early years, dyeing of clothes and other items became fashionable because of the cost of purchasing. This extended the life of the garment and established a new wardrobe for the individual. Shortly after 1918, upon returning from overseas after World War I, Alex's brother, my grandfather, Sidney, joined the business. At that time, the company was entering into the newly developed industry of dry cleaning under the name Quinton's Cleaners. This was the beginning of a Winnipeg institution. This was one of our early dramatic logo designs. At that time, fur coats were fashionable, and the cleaning and storage of these items was an important part of the business. This was the original building, located only a block away from our current operation on the corner of Jesse and Daly, where the fur storage was located and garment dyeing and the dry cleaning process took place. This was the beginning of the Q in our symbol. We had some fun favorite slogans that nobody admits to taking credit for. A couple of them are, "Come clean with us and we'll die for you." If your wardrobe is not becoming to you, it really should be coming to us. This is a picture of one of our earliest delivery vehicles. Notice the open air concept, which would have made those warm Winnipeg winters quite a challenge. Imagine holding your breath for 8 hours. This is still the original building just prior to our move onto Nassau. Notice that we finally figured out a way to enclose the trucks, and the RSRs wore ties. Pictured here are my grandparents, Sidney and Ellen, along with my father Richard and his brother and sister, Paul and Mary. This may look like Al Capone and his gang, but this was the style in the 40s, showing my grandfather, my uncle, and my father. The early years of my Uncle Paul on Kingston Row, always known for his popular style and extracurricular activities. He was the first male accepted into home ec at the University of Manitoba. He always told me the parties were lonely, but great. My father Richard was intently focused on studies and sports, graduating 2 years early from high school at 16 and getting an Olympic trial for paddling. This partnership was strengthened because of the bond between the brothers, enabling them to further guide the company's success. Some of our early advertising artwork. Notice the 4-digit phone number. With the expansion to the suburbs and the introduction of 2-car families, the retail dry cleaning business flourished. It was at this time the brothers introduced a unique idea: drive-in dry cleaning outlets. Here's an array of some of the dry cleaning stores located throughout the city. We had 18 drop-off locations and 6 operating plants. These shown are St. Mary's, Corden, and Osborne. Prior to mat rentals, we actually cleaned carpets at home, and area rugs were processed at our facility. Pictured here is an operator feeding a machine that vibrates to loosen the soil and then subsequently scrubbed by soap and brush. After this process, the rugs were hoisted 25 feet high and left in a drying room overnight at temperatures of 90 degrees or more. This room is currently where our sales personnel sit upstairs. In a marketing attempt to have children influence their parents, we included a coloring card in all processed shirts. The simple design and message was from a friend of my Aunt Hazel's, Paul's wife. There were 50 cards in all, with fun little rhymes, always including the famous "Be Wise, Quintonize Owl." The late 60s brought about the opportunity to diversify into the growing uniform industry. This was the beginning of Quintex Services Limited. My Uncle Paul retired in 1987. His sons John and Jeff continued to run the dry cleaning operation. In 2002, a decision was made to sell the dry cleaning operations, while Quintex Services Limited continued to grow in a different direction, establishing itself as an industry leader in Manitoba. My mother and father were married for 53 years. My mother was a professional figure skater at a young age and continued that zest for life and strength of independence, enabling my father to focus and pursue the business. Like Paul, my father also retired in 1987. My brother-in-law Doug, pictured with my sister Deb, continued to run the plant operations. Okay, why they included my grade 12 school picture, coupled by the fact that nobody thought of buying me a razor for the first 15 years, and still I took over the reins to run the company with my brother-in-law Doug. Doug retired in 2000. During those years, my wife Sheila and I had the pleasure of raising 5 children. It's fun to have them all play hockey, with Sheila as the coach. Prior to Manitoba labor laws, we had some young workers, including my son Mackie. Although he tried hard, he just didn't last that long. Here is a look back over a few of our past company logos and advertisements. These are ads from the Winnipeg Free Press and Tribune in 1934. We are up to a 5-digit phone number now. This is an ad from 1936, and following are a sample of our logos and taglines. After 100 years, we are proud to display our current logo. Quintex Direct was opened in 1992 under the name Todd Uniforms for Business. The direct sale division offers uniforms to customers that do not require the cleaning service that the rental side offers, a perfect supplement for our rental service. In January 2009, we are pleased to welcome as a part of the company Image Group, an in-house embroidery division. Also in 2009, Quintex expanded to include a first aid division. We provide first aid cabinets stocked with supplies ranging from Band-Aids to eye washes. This complements our tagline of "We've got you covered." We are very pleased to display a sample of some of our over 2,500 customers. Our new design displayed proudly on our clean fleet of vehicles. As you can see, a product for every service. "2011 is a very special year for Quintex as we celebrate our 100th anniversary in business. On behalf of my family, I'd like to thank each and every one of you as we proudly look ahead to a bright future together. Now, please enjoy watching many shots of our Quintex family.
All of the people around us, they say,